Okay. Yep. So this is me down in the bottom. I'm going to bring myself up here. I know I look a hot mess, but it is, my writing day. And so in my writing day, I'm not even focused on anything else but writing and getting the story out or getting parts of the story out, right? So we were back to her chronic issue. And let me pull up my form here. Okay. And so her chronic issue I put is that she wants to be accepted as a mortal, not a witch. So I'm not sure what I want to call like regular people who don't know magic. So that's going to be something I'll work on. I kind of want to give it like a special name, okay? And then, although most of the world is learning about magic and witchcraft, she doesn't want to be looked at as a monster or evil. So she's personally afraid, and she's personally afraid of what her powers will look like and hopes she never gets them, right? So that's what I said at first. And I wasn't like too in love with that, like, oh, her not knowing her powers or anything like that, like, what that could look like. So I let me go here. I believe I did write it in here. Yeah. So I put that. Yeah, her chronic issue. I put it down here. Oh yeah, and this is how when you click onto each tab, they have like a bigger, wider cell for you to really plug in your writing and continue to plug and plug and plug, right? And then of course this condenses everything and puts it all in like a really nice and organized setting for you. So I put I'm clicking there. So I said she wants to be accepted as a regular human, not a witch. Although most of the world is learning about magic and witchcraft, she doesn't want to be looked at as a monster or evil. And then she's personally afraid of being found out by her friends. And she's also afraid to disappoint her family by wanting to rid herself of magic. So I think that's better than what I had at first. Like she didn't know that she had powers. I think I want to make it to where she does know, like, she knows that she has, she knows her family's as witches, and she knows that she can see ghosts. Has she seen them yet? No, right? She hasn't seen them yet per se. But that's just a part of being a witch. And I don't want it to be with she's like, I ain't got no powers yet or nothing like that. Like, no, like she knows, like, I'm a witch, I'm a witch of legendary family. Whatever's gonna happen to me is going to happen, it's gonna come, but I don't want to do it. That's the chronic issue, there, like being found out for who she truly is and disappointing her family because she's thinking about actually leaving, like, like, I don't want to do any of this. I think that's going to disappoint. See, that's why you should not edit while you're let me just leave it alone while you're typing. Anyway, she's thinking about totally like leaving and just turning her back on witchcraft, on magic, on everything, and living a life as a regular person. However, she's 16, and so her parents still are her, guardians, and so they're going to continue to have this influence on her. And so she's kind of troubled with both of that, right? The fear of her friends finding out because she has regular, human, regular friends or whatever, the witches and the wizards and stuff. They all integrate with the world, but under, secrecy. And so it's just like, I don't want them to find out. Of course, the world knows a little bit about it, but it's still that new thing where it's like, oh my God, you're a witch. Oh my God, oh, that's so demonic, and that's so this, and whatever the new, gossip is about witches would be. And she just doesn't want that. She want to be regular, right? And again, disappointing her family is a big, big thing because, she don't want them to look at her as like, wow, she is just disgrace to the family name and everything like that. And real quick, since we're on the main character, just go through her whole background. So the main character background is that I put that Jade is a 16-year-old girl from the south side of Chicago. So that's where I said I kind of went back in here. And oh Lord, I hope you can't hear that squeaking sound. That is my cat's litter box. Hold on. Okay, fixed it. I probably need some oil in there. Anyway, so Jade is a 16-year-old girl from the south side of Chicago. Again, might change to where she's from. Just kind of depends on the love of it. Both of her parents are witches. Her mother is specifically a witch of Endor descendant, and then her father is the son of a legendary witch named Hezekiah Bronwyn. You see how I kind of got deeper into that. So as I went back through my writing and started creating this tracker, I started really feeling a story and developing it a little bit more. Jade is a teenage witch who hasn't quite yet grasped the idea of being a witch. She was born into a legendary line of witches and wizards. However, she would rather be a regular human like her friends. When a witch turns 16, they are to attend a school of magic, whether they have come into their powers or not. Jade doesn't want to go she doesn't want to go to the university or anything, for fear that she will be looked at as a monster by her friends. She also doesn't want to disappoint her family if she refuses to attend university and turn her back on her calling. So I'll, work on that wording a little bit, but you kind of get the idea. So that's the whole story idea and the background of it, right? And then I put that her skill is she can see ghosts and summon the dead from the netherworld. Not all witches can do this without years of training and practice, and even then it's hard for them to do. So that's something that Jade can do. However, I gotta kind of put it in there where do I want her to find this out in the story, or she already knows it? Like, I don't know how I'm going to put that in there, so I'll just keep on plumbing at that. And of course, the acute issue is the events that's driving it, so it's to solve the murder. Then the chronic issue, I put that she wants to be accepted as a regular human and not a witch. And we already talked about that, right? Although most of the world is learning about magic and witchcraft, she doesn't want to be looked at as a monster or evil. And then she's personally afraid of being found out by her friends. And she's also afraid to disappoint her family and wanting to rid herself of magic. So I do like that, right? I do like how that comes along as well. And maybe I will just keep it to where she hasn't even come into any type of magic at all. She will find out that is her particular skill with the summoning of the dead and all that stuff. Because you remember she didn't did anything yet. Let's go back to the premise breakdown. So we got her info down, and so I put love interest in here because of course, when creating a mystery or a novel, there's more than likely a love interest that you want to have in there. If you don't have a love interest, great, you can have like a friend or something else in there, but I'm gonna put a love interest in mine, and we could plot him. So I wrote him in also. And let's see. Oh, his name right here. So I put his name is Jackson. I don't have a last name yet, so we could vote on that. Y'all could give me a last name to make him for Jackson, right? But his name is Jackson. He is a sophomore. I put that he's a sophomore at the college because originally Jade was supposed to be like 17 and going into like that's when a witch would have to go to school, would be like 17, but I kind of wanted to backdate it. So I'm going to say that Jackson is he is a thing. I don't really know now because I still want my story setting to be on a college, like she's going on a college trip with her classmates and stuff, and 16 with a college kid person that's like 20 something. No, but maybe let's do that he is like a freshman. Oh, Jackson is the professor's son. There you go. He's like he's like the dean's son at one of the colleges. There you go. He is there you go. Okay, dean's, because I was at first it was going to be where he was like at the college already there, like a resident there, kind of showing them a tour of everything. But now that I'm switching it up, I really want him to be more of a real love interest than like a not okay. So real quick, let's backtrack. So originally, what was going to happen was that Jade was supposed to be like 17 years old, and she did not want to go to the school of magic or whatever. So her parents, let her go on this college trip with her regular friends that are, regular school, or whatever, to go on a college trip to a regular, human type university where the house that they where they go to is like a historical college town. However, the homes are historical, and one of the homes is haunted. And they're using this home as like college dorms for the students. And Jackson is a student there, and he is one of the tour guides of the campus for Jade's group or whatever. And so Jackson ends up being like a little love interest of hers, that she likes, and she's like, he's so hot and all this stuff like that. And so I was going to create that kind of vibe and setup. And now I'm thinking I want Jackson to be just another teen that she has, that is a love interest, and he's kind of like she's kind of trying to keep her secret from everybody and him. And then he's also trying to help her solve like the mystery as well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to have to really dig into that. So with love interest though, his name is Jackson. He's the dean's son at they're still going to go to college at the university. I'll have to name it something here. And then I was going to say he turns out to be the designated tour guide. I think what will happen is that he kind of, puts himself on the tour because he sees her and he is like, he likes her or whatever. So, and she's, did something that interests him. So he's a part of the tour also with the kids as well. And he's kind of like turns into that confidant that she has, right? So we're gonna just go ahead and put Jackson in here as the love interest. So Jackson, I don't know his middle name, his last name yet. And then relationship, so no relationship right now, but they become friends. New friendship, there you go. And then we're going to do, what does he want? So Jackson, and we're going to do Jackson's background too. I need to make a section for love. Oh, I do. Okay. So I'll make Jackson's background deeper in the love interest, but his background is that I would put that he is a regular human and the son of the dean of colleges. And I'll, of course, clean it up. That's right. Because most of them, their family lives on the university too. So, okay. Real quick, it'd be Liberty. Okay. And I'm just gonna. Oh, it's not letting me align it. Okay, I'll fix it. Anyway, what does this character want? So he wants to. I guess he's intrigued by Jade. And that could be just because she is like a witch and she's kind of, mysterious a little bit. And once the everything started going down, he was like, okay, he just really wanted to get to know her. So, and of course he wants the friendship as well. We don't know if he like knows about witches and things just yet, but I would say he is intrigued by Jade. I would say that. So we're going to say he's intrigued, but we don't really know what he wants yet. And this is an ongoing series, so I will continue to share any changes on that. And then the obstacle that keeps them apart. I didn't really like my love interest thing. I might have to go back and really dig deep into that, which I will. And it could be a lot of factors that keep them apart, like the fact that she's a witch will keep them apart, period, right? Because her family is from a line of like prestigious witches. So I'm gonna put that in here before I forget. Okay, and then also it could be that they're from different areas, right? They are different from different locations because she's from Chicago, she lives there. He's out here where that school is at. We could also say her father, like his father, because his father knows about witches, and it's just like this. They are demons. You cannot do this. So, family will keep them away as well, right? So a couple of things keep them apart, and I will just continue to plumb, as Shane says, that particular idea on that. Okay. Um, my antagonist is the witch. So there's a ghost witch. So the story bases off of this, right? Um, Jade goes to the university. The college is haunted. A student comes up dead, and Jade is now like interested in like what's going on because of the way the person died. She knows that it's witchcraft. Like, yeah, it's witchcraft. And then so she's like, well, I wonder how, like why, like I didn't know, this campus was even haunted or nothing. I didn't sense anything that was going down up in here either. But she's still young. And she is now like set out to figure out what's going on. And this is where her powers and magic come into place, right? She starts seeing signs like a ghost or something is talking to her. I want to say because she could talk to ghosts, right? She could see the ghosts and stuff. And so she happened to come across um, a like signs that there is a hag, haunting that house. The way that that person died lets her know that there is some kind of skinwalker. They call them boo hags, is what the witch is, and that is the antagonist of the story. However, I had the antagonist to be Jackson at a sense, like he is the boo hag, because if you know the history of boo hag can get into your skin and they ride your back, all night or whatever. So this boo hag has been, walking in this kid's named Jackson's skin for all this time or whatever. And somehow the other student found out and the boo hag had to, off him. And so now, Jackson finds out that Jade is there and she's trying to solve this murder. And he is doing everything in his power to make sure that this little witch doesn't find out that he is a boo hag. And the boo hag is like really old, haggard witch, right? But they're afraid of a lot of witch hunters. And that turns out to be what Jade's like mother does and all this stuff. And the hag kind of knows it. So the antagonist would be the hag. Now I just need another character that the hag can kind of use as a ploy. I'm going to put the boo hag in here as the antagonist, and the relationship is the boo hag is like a witch that died, so no relation, like no familiar relationship, but it is an old evil witch. It's an old evil witch that's haunting the dorms. It's an old witch. I'm gonna say evil. There you go. Right, but stupid. We'll get into that, right? And then the background of the antagonist, which is the witch, is I'll show you real quick my um just clicking through all of those. I did not do that. Oh, story idea. So the background of the witch, and oh yeah, and story idea. Sorry about that. I probably should have clicked on that tab. That's where I kind of put everything with the college and stuff. Like that, my whole idea was like a young witch named Jade has to decide if she wants to continue with her family tradition of attending the University of Magic or turn her back on witchcraft forever. Jade attends a school trip to a regular human university where she is quickly thrown in the middle of a murder. She is determined to solve the case while facing her fears head on. So the story is set in an old Victorian style house that used to be the home of an old witch. And I will change the old witch name because I was looking at some HP Lovecraft stuff, and I like the idea of I think it was the witch house or something like that. And the story setup is honestly like dude was haunted by a witch, a boo hag, honestly. And so I wanted it to be more geared towards that type of folklore and African American culture. We believe in all of that stuff. So I kind of want to throw that in there. And so I talked about this witch. She's an old witch who was arrested, during the Salem witch trials. And I'm gonna change the year, figure out the year. And then the old folklore says that the witch escaped from jail and was last seen in the attic of the house of the window. So kind of like the witch house setup. So no one knows what actually happened to her, but the house was, considered haunted for years. And then that is until the university, bought up that area and that land and turned all the historical buildings into dorms for the students. which currently serves, as college for college students. So the students of the house, they always complain about weird mishaps happening and occurring in that particular house, but nothing too extreme. The occasional bump in the night, creaky stairwell, or misplaced and missing items are the normal mysteries for that particular house. The witch is actually a boo hag, and boo hags are similar to vampires. They gain their strength from a person's breath instead of a bloody, oh no, instead of a bloody, oh, I gotta fix that. So they gain their strength from a person's breath instead of like blood by riding their victims. I don't know why I said bloody. So you know how vampires use blood? They don't. They take your breath away and then they'll ride their victims. And riding the victims is like riding them, like riding their backs or riding their chest at night, like taking their bodies and doing crazy stuff at night or anytime, I guess. It is believed that everyone has a spirit and a soul. So when a witch dies, their soul goes to the beyond, which is a spiritual realm. And hell is a home for the devils and the demons. So most witches who practice dark magic or black magic, whichever one, they have a nice little spot in hell. And then some spirits stay around as magical guides for the descendants of the witches. So if there is, witches that are ghosts or whatever, they're around as descendants and guides and stuff. So if you were an evil witch, meaning you did dark magic, you were just evil, and you died, then your spirit would mutate into various wicked entities. And one of them is a boo hag. And so I'm going to change that name to Thy Mason because that is the Lovecraft name. I don't want that. I'll give that with your name. This witch, there you go, was evil. And when she died in that old house, she mutated into a boo hag. Okay, so that's that story plumbing of it. Where we at on time? Ooh, 21 minutes. Okay. I'm going to stop here, come back in a minute.